I'm going to go outside and get my lawnmower that I hit something with months ago. And I've been driving it, but it's been kicking me when I go to start it. The recoil rope keeps jerking back on me. It does run, but runs terrible. But all I do is trim my lawn with it. So, while I got a little time here, I'm going to go film what I'm doing. I'll show you how to fix it. It's basically, I'm pretty sure I partially sheared the pin, or it's actually a flywheel key. It's made so it'll shear if you happen to have a sudden stoppage. I've made a video of when I do have a sudden stoppage and it wouldn't run, but now it runs, but it kicks me. And I think a lot of people are probably using mowers that do that, and sooner or later it's going to pull the cord right out of the handle, or it's going to put your shoulder out. And that's what I've been doing it. You know, my shoulders, I think, are already out all the time. But I'm going to try to show you how to do it and then look up the part. And this is going to be a weird video because my regular camera, the battery was dead. So dead that it wouldn't even turn on. And so rather than wait, I'm going to use my old camera, my old waterproof camera. I haven't used it in a long time. So here we go. It's going to probably be 3 different cameras. This is on my phone. So see you later. Let me see if this old camera still works. My camera broke. This is how I was getting ready to do this video. So I got out my old waterproof camera. So what it is, what it is. That's what we're working on. 6 3/4 horsepower Eager 1 Tecumseh. I don't know if the other video shows up, but I'm going to reprogram this or re-record it. My problem with this is I hit something a while back and it didn't completely stop the motor, but it hit it hard enough that the flywheel spun slightly on the crankshaft. It's held on there in position with an aluminum key, and the key is partially sheared, and now the timing is off so that it's firing before the piston gets all the way to the top of its travel. So once in a while when you go to start it, it kicks you and it pulls this rope back into this. And sooner or later it's going to break the rope. So while I got time, I'm going to go ahead and pull this flywheel off, put a new key in it, and get it back in time. It runs, but very rough. Get something here to put my parts in. Won't be a whole lot of parts. Take this screw out of the top. Some of them don't have this screw. I'm just trying to get to the top of it. Get some of this stuff out of my way. Look at that. Now let's get it moved. Notice the gas cap stays with it, but the oil cap has to come off. It just pretty much sits in there, sits in these grooves. So that's all the way. Gotta take off these. Takes a 7/16 wrench, take this off, pull this off. I'll show you closer here. Yeah. Takes this off right here. This off. Front doesn't have any bolts. Take this off. Of course, this part of it is considered a recoil. It's got a spring in here, got little dogs that grab. Gotta take that off. A little rusty, so always helps. Ah, that was an odd size. This must be a 3/8 here. One that holds the oil on. Show you a close up here in a minute. And don't drop any parts. I didn't mention was a lot of lawnmowers are half metric SAE. Just like this. It makes it interesting. So that'll be the oddball out. This isn't really, this is more like a sheet metal screw. Okay, so now I got that. I'm going to pull this off of here. Of course, see, it's a recoil. Lay it on the side. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay. This is what it looks like now. This right here is a magnet. That's part of the flywheel, as you can see. Another thing to always do is take off the spark plug wire so that it doesn't happen to fire while you're messing around here. Start up on you. Now I got the oil. I'm going to put that oil back in so that I don't get something in it. Leave that in until I'm ready to put the gas tank back on. Now I just got to take off this nut. This will come off just like any nut. Just got to have a bigger wrench. Put that on there and we'll get it off there. Impact wrench would be great. If not, you'll have to block the blade or something, some way to hold it still while you take that off. Going the off position, in other words, looking down at it counterclockwise, and off it comes. In this case, it happens to be a 3/4 inch. Every engine's going to be different, probably. Okay, come over here and take a look. There's a nut. There's a washer. There's this. And there's this. I'll try to get in there and so you can see. We go get a flashlight and help. Key goes in right in there. But the point is, we got to get this off of here. So you see it's got 3 little holes. I'm going to thread some bolts in there, put a plate across here, and then tighten down and see if I can pull it. These 3 will pull up on it. I'm just trying to make force to push against it to get it off of there. Another thing I'm going to do first is turn this so that this magnet, see the magnet, it's away from the coil. Make it a little bit easier. Well, here's a few of the pullers I've made over the years on different motors, different sizes. And this triple one here, I made this out of, you can see that's an old chainsaw bar, something good and solid. And made this puller, just some bolts, nothing to it. And you may have to thread those holes. Sometimes they're threaded, sometimes they're not. They're usually 1/4 inch. This one I know I've had it off before, so I know I can get the threads in it. Probably can't see them in there, but there are threads in there. But before I do that, I'm going to put the nut back on there so that I don't mushroom this. We're only trying to move it 1/1000th. It's tapered, so once it moves 1/1000th, it'll come right off. just put the nut on there so that if you do happen to damage a little bit of this thread, when you pull the nut off, it'll straighten it back out. Got that? That's kind of important. I'm going to try to hold this camera as best I can. I know it's going to be a little shaky. You back off on these nuts, these top nuts, and then you screw those in until they're snug. That way you know you got as many threads in that aluminum as you can get. Alright, but don't strip it. So I'm going to put my 7/16 on here and just get them snug right now. See what I'm doing? Just snug down against the top of that nut and that shaft. I know I got all my threads in there. Notice I'm not holding this flywheel, so it's... There we go. That one doesn't seem like it's in there very far. There's going to be a lot of pressure on these, so make sure they're kind of in there. We want some threads because if we jerk them out of there, then we're going to have to make a whole new puller. And we'll put this down for a minute and make sure they're snug. I'm going to hold this with my hand. I want you to be able to hear it pop, if possible. Getting all the slack out of it right now. You can see these nuts are starting to push down on that plate, what I call a puller. Trying to watch the camera and my hand is a trick. I want to put even pressure on it so that all three bolts are pulling. You see, now the darn thing wants to turn over, right? So now I'm going to put the camera in a fixed position. Maybe I can get it so you can see it, and then here goes nothing. Tighten up a little bit at a time. Thing is, when it spins like that on the in the key, it gets jammed in there, so it goes off very hard. Get it nice and snug. First couple times I did this, pow! Those old motors have big metal cast iron flywheels, and you can put a lot of pressure on them, but these are aluminum, so you got to be really careful. Everything's so easy to break nowadays. Okay, so I got it tight there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap it with a hammer and see if I can boop, jolt it, boom, boom, off of there. I was hoping it would pop. I'm not going to beat on this very hard because, like I say, this is aluminum. I want this thing to pop. Okay, so this is just a big piece of metal. You can see what I'm doing. It's just a chunk of metal that I have. Probably an old shaft of some kind. A punch would work. I want to get it in between those. See, it's such a little thing. I'm going to pop it with a hammer. See if I can get that thing to come loose. See? Popped. You couldn't hear it because I was hitting it with a hammer. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I did. That's the way. Hit it down in here. Don't be beating on the sides or you'll break it. Okay, so now all I gotta do is take that off. take the puller off so I can get to that nut again. Remember, the nut's only on there to protect the threads. It's only loose. Right now it is, I mean. Okay. And we'll see what we got in here. See how much damage is on here. Maybe ruined, I don't know. I've hit it a few times. See? These nuts are just to hold, keep it from losing the bolts. These are the nuts that actually work. That makes sense? I got those nuts on there just to hold it from falling out so I don't keep having to find bolts. Okay. We're going to take this nut off. The threads are still fine. Now the flywheel should come right off. If you look in there, probably see it has done some damage, but hopefully a new key will take care of it. Now I'm going to pick you up. Hang on. I'm going to come around this way. Whoops. I'm looking where I'm going and where you're going. It's not always the same thing. Okay, there's the key. Look at the key. Hopefully you can see it. Hold the light in different positions. It's in pieces. It still ran, but it's in pieces. See how bent that is? That's the only thing that was holding it, that little bit of bent piece. Since this is a Craftsman mower, you can look that number up online and you can find the right part number for that key. I probably have some, but if not, then you'll have to go to your online and order one, or go to your store and get one. If there's any piece of the key left, take it with you. A small engine shop, they deal with these all the time. So I'm going to pull that key out, what's left of it. Not much left of it. I'm going to go out to my what's left over of my parts and see if I got one. That's what the key, this is the old one. And this is the new one. Personally, I call these lawnmower engines Chinese Tecumsehs, but call them whatever you want. They're really good engines, but you want to make sure you get the right parts for them, because they're not the same as, like this one here says, okay, see this right here? It says Tecumseh on it, somewhere. Yeah, right there it says Tecumseh. But that's not the right key. Doesn't even look anything like it. See? It's flat. This one's a weird shape. That's what you got to have for this stupid motor. Anyway, I'm going to stick that back in there, see how much flop there is. And if I think it'll get by, I'll leave it alone. If not, I may have to peen that flywheel. I don't think it could have damaged the crank because it's really hard metal. There. Goes in something like this. See how it goes in there, this little thing? That little tip hanging down at the bottom. Let me see if I can show you. See? But now, the trick is, will it fit the flywheel? Flywheel looks pretty damaged to me. Goes in there, there's a lot of slop in there. I never thought much of these. It's almost like an afterthought when they put the key on there. See how chewed up it is? If you look down past where it's beat up, It's narrow, so I think it'll be okay. See? Now it's just a... So I've got the key stuck in there, just like I showed you, with that little knob down against this flange. Let me show you. They sold thousands of these dang things. See how that little knob goes down against it? This is part of the flywheel, that little ledge. So it's sitting against there, so you can't push it out while you're trying to put the flywheel in there. So while we're in here, think about it. If this thing's going around and around and around and around and around, along with this, and all of a sudden this stops, this thing's got enough momentum that it'll shear that. That makes sense? It's better to do that. If you put a metal one in there, you would probably either throw a rod, you'd bend something, bend a rod or something. Something's got to give when you stop something that instantly, because this thing's revved up. So basically when it comes around and stop, this will move a hair, and notice when it comes up to here, when that magnet lines up with this and it leaves it, it makes a spark to spark plug. And that's why when you shear it or semi-shear it, it'll be firing too soon, because in relation to the crankshaft, the flywheel's actually moved slightly and it's firing before the piston gets to the top, and it kicks you and it pulls your rope out. And it breaks the rope or makes it hard to start, makes it run really rough. So I'm going to put it back together. Make sure there's nothing hanging on here. There's your magnets. I'll show you here. There's the magnet. It's magnetic. See, this side pretty much just weight to balance it out and make up for the magnet. A lot of engines don't have aluminum. This is an aluminum, and they're heavier, and they don't look anything like this. What's it say right here? Caution, attention, do not pry. Or something like that. Yeah, it says do not pry. In other words, you don't want to be bending on this or beating on it, because you can see it takes a beating the way it is. So you just kind of line it up, do the best you can, stick it on there. Try to line it up in that groove. Just gently put it on there, making sure you don't move that flywheel key. Make sure it's still there. Take the out of your hammer. Tap it around. Try to get it on there as good as you can before you start the nut. Okay. I'm using the wooden part. Okay. Now, before you put the nut on there and everything, look down in there and just kind of eyeball it. Make sure it looks like it's going down in that groove. And it's just a matter of putting it back together in the reverse order you took it off. The washer on there. Myself, that's kind of a spring washer. I always like to have the concave up. That way I know it's pushing against this nut. Well, I screwed up. Okay, I screwed up. See? I gotta take this back off because this goes on first. this actually holds this on. So bear with me. We all make mistakes. The difference is somebody that does a good job makes up for their mistakes. If you'd have left that off, it would have probably ran, but it would have ran hot. That is your fan. Okay, see this? Straddles. See how it straddles this? And this goes on there and holds it on there. Crazy, huh? Crazy, man. It's on there. That's your cooling fan. I always turn them through, make sure nothing's hitting, binding, make sure nothing wiggles, make sure everything's tight. We'll put it back together. While I got it off, I'm going to look at the rope, make sure there's no damage to it. It looks okay. Just have to be gentle. Take your time. Make sure it all fits before you tighten it down. And double check your work. Since this is an oddball, I'm going to put it in first. Like I say, this slides in here, and these got some little plastic things that line up. Go down, straight down. Fry it up, pop it off, da-da-da. Don't forget to put this on there or you'll make a giant mess. As soon as it starts, it'll throw oil everywhere. Done that. Let's just hope it starts, huh? If not, I'll have to do it over again. Gotta give the Chinese credit. They know how to make something that works in the cheapest way possible. Still turns over. That's a good sign. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna do anything else for this except get everything out of the way. All my wrenches. I'm gonna see how many times I can work on it. Get it to start. This is not a new lawnmower by any means. It's gonna load hard, put away wet. Everything out of the way. Before you try to start it, roll it back, make sure there's nothing under it. Throw on objects. Alright, so on this one I've got a shut-off valve on my gas. I'll let you see here. That's something I added sometime along the line. It's got a little primer here. It doesn't have a choke, so it's got a primer. It says to prime it 3 times. Or does it? What's it say? Oh my goodness, it says to prime it 8 times. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8. I'm sorry. 8. I did it one too many. Didn't feel like it was priming anything, actually. Let's hope it doesn't kick me. That's the main thing. The kick. Started once, and how many pulls it takes. All right, another job done. I know it's simple, but it's something that if you take it to the repair shop, it'll probably cost you $100 right there. And the next time it happens, it'll cost you another $100. Da 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 da. You can buy a lawnmower like this for a couple hundred. So, you know, it's just something good to know. Hopefully, it'll help you out a little bit. The main thing you're going to need is some kind of a puller. Like I say, these 1/4 inch. Just some long. They don't even match. They don't even have the same length. But they have to have different lengths because the ends of the crankshafts are different lengths. It's something so simple. I mean, it doesn't have to be that great of metal. Like I say, I made this out of a piece of, I cut out an old chainsaw bar that was shot. Anything. I did have a hole in the middle there. Don't have to have it. It just happens it was there. Okay, I'm back inside. You can see my weird house. And I'm going to fire up my computer and see if I can show you how to look up those parts. So bear with me. How you like my hat, eh? Kids gave me that. I don't know. Anyway, I'll fire up this old computer and see if I can look up that part for you.